Hi everyone, this is Anna of Camellia Fiber Company. Welcome back. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to cast on now that you know a little bit about all the different supplies out there in the knitting world and know what you're going to need. As a reminder, today we're working with a worsted weight yarn in a light color. I'm going to be using our worsted weight in the colorway Camellia. And you're also going to be working with wooden straight needles in anywhere from a US 7 to a US 9. I in particular have a US 8. You may notice that what I'm working with today looks a little bit different than what I showed you in the previous video. Yarn in this form is called a skein, but you cannot continuously pull from a skein like you need to when you're knitting, so it needs to be wound into a ball. You can do this by hand on your own. I would not recommend it because it can get a little bit messy and very tangled. So either your local yarn store can do this for you. If you order from us, you can add this to your order and we will wind it into a ball for you. Or if you get your yarn from a store like Michael's, it will be in a form where you can already continuously pull from it. So to cast on, there are many different ways to cast on that serve different purposes depending on what you're making or the look that you're going for. A really great basic cast on is the long tail cast on, and that's what I'm going to be showing you today. A long tail cast on means you are literally casting on from a long tail. And to do this, what you first need is a slip knot. So I'm going to pull out a long tail that will fit the number of stitches that I'm trying to cast on, and then I'm going to tie a slip knot at the end of that. To tie a slip knot, I'm going to take this loop of yarn, put it over my forefinger and my thumb on my right hand, and then just grab this tail yarn that's hanging down and cross those two tails over each other. When I've done this, you'll notice I've got one side of my tail that's underneath the other. And to make this slip knot, I'm going to take these two fingers here, grab that tail that's running underneath, and then pull it through that loop. And when I pull it tight, I've got my slip knot. And if you pull on one side, you'll notice that you can alter the size of your knot here, which is perfect because I need this knot to fit snugly over one of my needles. So I'm going to put it on my needle and then pull it tight. I want this to be loose enough that I can slide it along my needle pretty easily. So not too tight, not too loose. You want to be able to move it along easily. This counts as our first stitch in our cast on. Once I've got this first stitch, I can start casting on the rest of my stitches. To do that, I'm going to use something called the slingshot method. I think from my experience, this is one of the harder things to learn when you're knitting. So if you mess up and you get frustrated, go back and start over. Don't get too frustrated that you quit. So to do my slingshot cast on, you can see how I'm holding my yarn here. I've got one tail around my thumb and the other around my forefinger, and then I've pulled my needle forward a little bit so that I have this kind of slingshot here. To cast on now, I'm going to pick up this yarn to the left of my thumb, pick up this yarn that's coming from my forefinger, and then this loop I now have on my thumb, I'm going to throw over the top of my needle and then just drop it off. Once I've got that, I can drop everything. I just need to now tighten this loop around my needle. So now we have 2 stitches cast on, and then we're just going to do the same thing over and over again until we have the number of stitches that we need. So again, going back to my slingshot, I've got the loop around my thumb, the loop around my forefinger. The rest I'm just holding in my hand. I'm going to pick up that yarn to the left of my thumb, pick up the loop around my forefinger, and then drop this loop on my thumb off the needle, and then pull everything tight. Let's do it one more time. So I've got the loop around my thumb, the loop around my forefinger. I'm going to pick up the yarn to the left of my thumb, pick up the yarn around my forefinger, and then drop off this loop that's around my thumb over the top of the needle, let go of everything, and then pull it tight. So you will do this until you have the number of stitches on your needle that your pattern calls for. This is going to be messy the first few times you try it because it is a little bit difficult, especially as you're getting used to holding the needle and holding the yarn. So again, just go back, rip it out, try again until you get it the way you want it. I have 15 stitches cast on here. Just as a reminder, if you're working from a pattern, your pattern will tell you how many stitches to cast on. If you want to follow along with me, we're going to be working from just this 15 here. Again, if you like this video, make sure that you like and subscribe. In the next video, we're going to be learning how to actually knit, so we'll see you there. Thank you for watching.